Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first event preview on my channel. Just to let you guys know, I really appreciated the support on yesterday's videos. Everyone who liked and commented the video and shared it, thank you so much. And today, I'll be bringing you, as I said, my very first event preview on the channel. So, if you like what you see today, please like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to provide feedback, by all means, I appreciate it. You can provide that via those all-important comments. But let's get right into the thick of things here. Today we're going to be covering the Esports Universe Summer Cup. Of course, if you guys don't know who the Esports Universe are, they're a small event organizer that's provided, I think, 4 tournaments in the past year. Last year, they started off with events just like this, the Esports Universe Easter Cup and the Summer Cup. And this year, they've expanded into the ACL, which we've had the Winter Championship and the Spring Championship. However, we're going back to a smaller tournament format for the Summer Cup. It's £250, 2 weeks of Call of Duty action, and of course 12 teams, unlike the normal 24. There'll be 2 qualified tournaments, one of which has already happened, and of course a second on June 29th. 8 invited teams, all of which we'll be analysing in just a moment. And because of the small nature of the Esports Universe Summer Cup, every single match will be fully casted and streamed, as well as Esports Universe stats available for all players, all matches, all the time. So it's going to be great. George does those. He's really good at the stats. So shout out to George Boffers for the stats for the Summer Cup. But without further ado, let's get into the team analysis. The first invited team to the Esports Universe Summer Cup is actually one of the hot favourites already to be taking the championship. Radiant Esports has a roster consisting of Billy, Henry, Disable, Gizmo and Kleenex, and again, as I said, hot favourites to take the tournament given the talented nature of the team. This is the first time we'll be seeing Gizmo and Kleenex, 2 extremely hyped players in the amateur Call of Duty scene, on the same roster, and they'll be joined of course by the core 3 from Radiant Esports who won the EEG Season 2, Billy, Henry and Disable in this Radiant Esports roster. As I said, hot favourites to win the tournament. Can't wait to see whether or not they actually do end up doing so. The second invited team to the Esports Universe Summer Cup 2019 is Legion Gaming's new online roster. Consisting of Vision, Creative, Styled, Jsayer and Callum24, this is an interesting mix of youth players who are actually pretty talented, if not rather underrated. You have the core 3 from Future Gaming, Vision, Creative and Styled. He recently placed top 8 in the Spring Championship from Esports Universe and top 12 in the EEG Season 2, joined, as I said, by Callum, who actually had a pretty varied spring season under Overshadow, a top 24 placement in one league and a top 6 in the next, alongside Jsayer, who kind of had a pretty mute league in Season 2 at the very least, didn't really do much at all. But Legion Gaming should be an interesting team, and it should be rather fun to see how they get in amongst all the rest of the teams. Next up is Team Singularity, one of the other heavy hitters that could potentially win the Summer Cup. Team Singularity, they recently placed second in the Spring Championship of the Esports Universe, that €3,000 tournament, along the same roster of Insight, Detain, Bids and Keza, joined then by Quicker. Although Kleenex was originally announced as their 5th, their new 5th, since Kleenex has gone to Radiant, is yet to be announced. I'm really excited to see how Singularity get on amongst the teams, because again, they are hot favourites alongside Radiant to be taking the Summer Cup. The next team to be invited to the Esports Universe Summer Cup is actually Void Gaming, an organisation owned by my fellow co-caster, Boffers. The roster joining Void for the Summer Cup is as follows: Cameron, Hectic, Jens, Varsity and Goldry. Now again, this is yet another interesting mix of players. You have 2 real veterans on the team in Hectic and Jens, both of which have had great seasons thus far and are both incredibly talented players. The latter of which, as a matter of fact, we thought was going to be one of the top players very early on in the initial 5Ks. They're joined by Cameron, Varsity and Goldry, all of which actually haven't had bad seasons at all, especially Varsity, who, despite being a very underrated and very under the radar player, recently just won the De Vince LAN with his team, the Amsterdam Lions. The 5th team to be invited to the Esports Universe Summer Cup is the Atlas Lions, and actually this is a pretty dark horse roster if there ever was one in this year's Summer Cup. You've got Hixie, Divinity and Beanbag all coming over from the Atlas Lions roster that placed top 6 in the Spring Championship, and this time around they're joined by Aroma and Callum from Niversity, who, if you guys remember the London Open, actually got top 16 and shocked a lot of teams in that open bracket. So again, the Atlas Lions could be a real dark horse roster that could could come up and shock a lot of teams that aren't necessarily expecting them to be as good as they might be. The 6th team to be invited to the Esports Universe Summer Cup is Peak Esports, consisting of Josh J7, Isaac, Radical, Crimson, and Avo. This is a roster that I really don't know what to expect much of. You've got Isaac coming from the original Peak Esports roster, alongside names such as Josh J7, you may know him from Socially Esports, and Avo, who most famously played for Barrage Esports. So, real mixed bag of players, don't really know what to expect, but again, with names like Josh J7 and Avo, they could really surprise some of the competition here in the Summer Cup. The penultimate team to join the Esports Universe Summer Cup is Socially Esports, with a roster of Dingbat, Sane, Frimjay, Jodley, and Meebow. Dingbat, Sane, and Meebow all come over from a Horus Esports team that's had a varied spring season, and Frimjay and Jodley, well, these are two players that you may know. Frimjay has had stints on Legion Gaming Niversity in the CWL Open bracket, and Jodley himself is actually a name that I haven't heard of since Infinite Warfare, but he was a pretty good player then. I think he played on Aftershock, so it's great to see him come back again. Given the names on this Socially Esports roster, I'm expecting big things from them in the Summer Cup. The final team to be invited to the Esports Universe Summer Cup is Buzzkill Esports, and this is yet another roster that I really do not know what to expect from. There's a few new names, entirely new to me at the very least, who have joined this roster in the form of Carlson and Nisus, or Nisus, I don't know, X can mean anything in terms of a vowel, but they'll be joining Vinny and Tremor, names that I do actually know of and are actually okay players, alongside a 5th that is yet to be announced. For all I know, Buzzkill could be a great roster again. It depends how Carlson and Nisus perform, because again, I really don't know what to expect from this roster. And the final 2 teams that we know have already joined the Esports Universe Summer Cup, both via the open bracket qualifier that was held on Saturday the 22nd of June. We know that they are Clowns and Niversity. Now let's talk about these rosters real quick. Clowns, you've got some real interesting names. You've got Feldy, if anyone remembers him from Zealous Esports in Infinite Warfare. You've got Sam Baldy, Hayes, and Semmel, but the most interesting name on that roster is of course Benji, a player most well known for his time on Brash Esports towards the latter half of Call of Duty World War II and towards the very start of Black Ops 4. And of course on Niversity you have Astralize, CD, Jugs, Brownie, and Equal. The names that stand out for me here are CD, he was a player, he was on Future Gaming at EEG Malta 2.0, he got 3rd place there, and Jugs and Brownie, both of whom have spent a lot of time in the spring season at the very least on Team Hydrate. Of course they'll be joined by Astralize and Equal. So we'll see what Clowns and Niversity can do within all of the invited teams to the Summer Cup. But again, I'm actually kind of expecting a lot from these 2 teams. They've got some seriously talented players on the squads, and I want to see how they perform at the Summer Cup. And that's it for all the teams invited. We still don't know 2 of the teams that will be invited, as there's one more open bracket qualifier to be held on June 29th. But for now, pool play will start on June 24th, and you can catch all the action at twitch.tv/Esports Universe, broadcasted by myself and my co-caster Boffers. It's going to be great. Please tune in. We love all the support you guys show us in the AM scene. But for now, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you to everybody for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and again, comment down below any feedback that you guys can give me. I really appreciate it. I'm just starting out on this channel, trying to give you guys all of the action in terms of the amateur scene. So as I said, that's going to be it for me for this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.